The 26th of January will be polling day for a by-election held in the single-seat constituency of Punggol East if the seat is contested. Nomination day is on the 16th of January at North Vista Secondary School. The President issued the Writ of Election today.
An election buzz has been surrounding the northeastern part of Singapore in recent weeks, and speculation has been rife over if and when a by-election would be called in Punggol East. Shortly after the writ of election was issued, Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong released a statement explaining his decision to hold a by-election in the single-member constituency. Following the resignation of former MP Michael Palmer, Mr Lee said his first priority was to look after the residents of Punggol East. He said Deputy Prime Minister Teo Chee Hean has also taken a personal interest in the residents' welfare. Explaining how the national agenda will be a busy one with the White Paper on Population, Budget 2013 and the ongoing Singapore conversation, the Prime Minister said after the by-election, the country could then focus back on these national issues. Mr Lee said he wanted to give residents their own MP in Parliament, and he hopes Punggol East residents will vote for the candidate who can best represent them in Parliament, solve their problems and improve their lives. The Punggol East seat fell vacant last month when former MP Michael Palmer vacated the seat after admitting to an extramarital affair. Mr Palmer was also the Speaker of Parliament. Minister of State for Trade and Industry and Mayor for North East CDC Teo Ser Luck has been overseeing the constituency, while Mr Zainal Sapari has been chairing the Pasir Ris Punggol Town Council. This will be the country's second by-election following the general election in 2011.
Analysts describe the Prime Minister's call for a by-election in Punggol East as speedy.
In this particular instance, I don't think the Prime Minister wants to be accused of hampering opposition ambition to want to take the seat at Punggol East. So I think it's made it call for by-election as soon as he could possibly can.
And other observers we spoke to expect the People's Action Party to field a new candidate given the party's commitment to reform and renewal. As for the opposition parties, several of them have earlier indicated their interest in the by-election.
How are they going to avoid a multi-cornered fight, which will essentially be advantageous to the People's Action Party? So I think in the next 6 days, we're going to see a lot of posturing, a lot of behind-the-scenes negotiations that will add to the overall excitement.
And for more analysis of this issue with Assistant Professor Eugene Tan, do catch Singapore Tonight on our sister network, Channel News Asia at 10 p.m. Well, meanwhile, most residents in Punggol East said it was timely to conduct the by-election this month. Many also said they were concerned about issues affecting their everyday lives.
这一定要嘛没有，好像没有老板的，一定要找一个老板出来吗？不会意外的这种。
这个应该是你要速战速决比较好嘛，你不要一直拖的嘛，这样也是蛮不错的啦。
Access, like Rivervale Plaza took a while to the issues. Other than that, I think more amenities.
Some area they don't have the shelter for we go to the MRT station or bus station, right? So when heavy rain, those who bring children, whatever, they got no the proper place to go. After they run away, also quite dangerous.
Back in 2011, residents in Punggol East SMC had a choice between 3 political parties. Our reporter with a look back.
The Punggol East Single-Member Constituency had over 30,000 voters in the 2011 general election. It was the only constituency that saw a 3-cornered fight. Then, the People's Action Party's Michael Palmer, the Workers' Party's Lee Li Lian, and the Singapore Democratic Alliance's Desmond Lim campaigned for residents' hearts and minds. The three focused largely on ground concerns during the hustings. Mr Lim promised new facilities of over $1 million for residents if he won. It was something Mr Palmer cast doubt on. He was the ward's incumbent, elected in 2006 when the area was still under Pasir Ris Punggol Group Representation Constituency before it was carved out as a single seat. Mr Palmer had said his time in the ward was used to build cohesion among residents and hoped for continuing support. Ms Lee, on the other hand, chose to look at estate cleanliness and cost of living issues. When the dust settled, Mr Palmer won, taking around 55% of votes. Ms Lee took about 41% and Mr Lim got around 4%.
Now, there's a high possibility that there could be a six-cornered fight for the by-election involving 4 opposition parties and 1 independent. Colorectal surgeon Dr. Koh Po Kun has acknowledged that he may be fielded as a People's Action Party candidate. He told Channel News Asia that he would definitely consider running as the PAP's candidate, but the 40-year-old is still waiting for the green light from the top. He has been shadowing the ward's caretaker MP Teo Ser Luck at some grassroots activities. Mr Teo confirmed he himself will not be running as a candidate, but threw his support behind Dr Koh. He describes him as a well-respected man who will take care of residents' interests.
He's a friend and he's volunteered and he continues to volunteer. He has always put people's interests at heart, and he really cares for the people, and you can really tell that he's genuine and very sincere.
The Workers' Party Secretary General Lau Tia Kiang says the party is ready to contest the by-election in Punggol East. Mr Lau said his party will announce its candidate in due course.
It's logical for the PAP to call and settle the by-election issue in Punggol East as soon as possible. PAP is an incumbent in Punggol. They have advantage being an incumbent, unlike Hougang. Thereby, I think it's logical for the Prime Minister to settle it, call it as fast as possible before any party could further entrench and establish themselves there.
Mr Lau was speaking to the media before the start of his Meet the People session this evening. He also said so far there are no plans to have a joint meeting with other opposition parties who have voiced their interest to contest. Reform Party Chief Kenneth Jeyaretnam says his party is strongly considering whether or not to contest the Punggol East by-election. But Mr Jeyaretnam says he will be the candidate fielded if the party does decide to do so. He adds that he would relocate to live in Punggol East if he is elected.
Punggol East, is a quarter of the size of West Coast, and so despite the short amount of time available, we are very confident. Locally on the ground, the residents have the same issues as most constituencies.
On the possibility of a six-cornered fight, Mr Jeyaretnam said it is healthy for Singapore that the people are given a choice on ideology and who they think will be most effective.